Hey guys, Teeble here. Today I'm gonna give you a rundown of the new update that's coming out next week. It's introducing the German fleet to World of Warships Legends. In the background, we got some G101 Alpha gameplay. This is a Tier 3 German destroyer. It's gonna play similar to the Tier 2 and 3 German destroyers in that it has front-firing torpedoes, so you'll be able to check that out. So what's coming out next week for sure? You got the full cruiser line, which tier 1 through 7 is as follows: Dresden, Kolberg, Karlsruhe, Königsberg, Nuremberg, York, and then the tier 7 is the Hipper. And then you're going to have a little bit of access to the destroyers, which we'll go over in a minute here, but tiers 2 through 7 are as follows: V25, V170, T22, Gaete, Moss, and the Z23. And they're going to jump right into a new campaign, which is the Search and Destroy campaign. Now, during this campaign, you're going to be able to earn containers to unlock the German destroyers. So the German destroyers are fully coming out in, I believe, 6 weeks. They want to keep to an update schedule of every 6 weeks if possible. So no matter what happens, you're going to have access to the German destroyers in 6 weeks. Right now, you're going to potentially have access to them by earning them in containers. So during the Search and Destroy campaign, if you want to play it for free, you're going to get some of these German containers, which will give you a chance to unlock a German destroyer. And if you want to get an Admiralty back, and you'll have more containers that potentially could have these ships in them. But again, if you just want to hold your horses and wait a little bit, you will have full access to the German destroyers in about a month and a half. Now the final milestone, instead of a ship like the Atlanta, this time it's going to be a Universal Commendation, which we're going to go over a little bit more, this legendary status in a bit here, but you can use this Universal Commendation to promote any commander's legendary status, either give them legendary status or improve their rank of legendary status. And there's going to be some German commander crates available through the campaign. Now, commander crates are going to be nation specific now, so instead of just like getting, your odds are narrowed down. So instead of like getting Dewey or Jellicoe, now if you get a British commander crate, you're just probably going to get Jellicoe, or you might even get like a useful commander potentially. But that'll just narrow your odds down, make it easier to get commanders that you're hoping for. And then there's also going to be a currency called Deutsche Marks, which if any of you history buffs, or if you're old like me, then you might remember that was the German currency back in the day, before they adopted the euro. And you can use those for consumables, camo, and then there's going to be, you can buy insignias and promotion orders with them, and you can get these Deutsche Marks from daily missions and campaign rewards. So we'll see how that works, but that's kind of interesting. You can also get German German containers available for the Deutsche Marks, and those are the type of containers that could potentially have the destroyers, so along with other goodies. And there's going to be large German crates available in the shop, which are going to give you a better chance to unlock the ship and more goods if you want to pay for the chance to get the ships. But again, you're going to have access to them down the road, so it just depends on if you're itching to get into those German destroyers enough to pay for them. Now the legendary commanders, how's it going to work? It's giving you an additional skill tier, and that skill tier is independent of your regular skill tiers. Now the existing skills, they're going to have 4 upgrades instead of 3 like they do currently now. And then how you get these legendary tiers going, there's commendations. There's either personal commendations or universal commendations. Now like universal, they're going to be pretty rare, but they're the ones that can be used on any commander. So that was going to be like the final reward of the campaign is going to be one. It says there's going to be one for free available in the campaign for everyone too. So, but universal commendations that can be used on any commander, relatively rare. Personal commendations, those are going to be granted by obtaining duplicates. So every time you get Dewey in the commander crate, now you'll get a personal commendation, which can upgrade his legendary status. So for me, I wish they would get rid of Dewey, Togo, and Jellicle out of the crate system altogether, but that's not going to happen, and whoever the generic German commander is. Because even if I have Dewey that's super, super legendary, you know, he's like got all 4 legendary things, he's still a dud. You know, but whatever. We'll see how it works. And, oh, the German commanders. Now, I'm going to read these guys' names off. I'm not German, so I'm probably not going to pronounce them correctly. But you got Eric Bay, who he's listed first. He might be the generic guy. You got Franz von Hipper. You got Gunther Luchens. You got Karl von Müller. Maximilian von Spee, I can tell you, he's a destroyer commander. I have him. You're actually watching him sail this thing right now on the screen. Otto Ciliax, I believe. Reinhard Scheer. So those are the new guys. There's some new skills and stuff being introduced with these guys. They're kind of sonar specific because the German ships, they're big into the sonar, so there's a couple of skills and perks that are related to that that's being introduced. Other changes to the game. Stats are going to be available now. For now, you can only see your own stats. They're saying eventually you'll be able to look up other people's, so if you want to see how bad I really am, you can look up my stats, but not right now. That's coming further down the line. Now, I think once the stats are like somewhat available, like all the stats for World of Warships or World of Tanks, they were on like third-party sites, and I believe they were like pulling the information off of the stats system that was in the game, and then I don't know how it works. I'm not a programmer, but potentially because these stats are now available, that may allow third-party websites to come up with like Win8 stats and stuff like that. We'll see. But you'll be able to check your own stats on the game for now. Container changes. The regular crates that you get for free in the shop every day and that you earn for doing missions and stuff, they can now potentially contain promotion orders and insignias, which is nice. Commander crates, like we said earlier, nation specific. And here's a little tidbit. For those of you that have purchased commander crates, you're going to get some bonus crates depending on the number that you've purchased. So I think it's in the increments of 5, you're going to get a bonus crate. So if you've purchased 1 or 3 or 4 or 5, you're going to get 1 bonus crate. If it's 4 through 10, you'll get 2. You know, 11 through 15, 3, and so on. So that'll be nice for you guys that have got crates that you purchased. The Vanguard's getting a bit of a buff now. They're taking a slow approach to it, which is a good thing. You don't want to turn a... I haven't played it yet, but you don't want to turn a potentially bad ship into a potentially super demon. So right now they're buffing the repair party. They're giving it 60% more health restored. And they're going to keep testing it. They're saying the damage output of the Vanguard, while fairly variable, is, you know, kind of on par with the other ships. Which, you know, I'm sure all the damage output at Tier 7 is fairly variable. Like, those guys that sit in the base the whole time doing nothing, their damage is probably fairly low, which is to be expected. Whereas if you're actually playing the game, you're probably going to get some more damage. So that's probably why the damage output's variable. Another change. British cruiser captains are being improved. Or commanders, I suppose you'd call them. They're replacing the HE skills with the AP skills, which is good. That's gonna, and of course, the British cruiser line will be coming sooner or later. So that's gonna make those commanders a lot more viable. I thought that was very goofy. Wargaming, on the off chance you're listening to this, there is a destroyer commander that has a speed boost perk. I don't know if you did notice that, but you can fix that guy too if you want. And then they're changing the game modes, or they're altering them. They're going to put a lot larger emphasis on actually playing the objectives, which will be good if players decide they want to start winning, or it might be bad if they're going to keep just focusing on blindly trying to kill people. So playing the objectives is going to be a lot more important, I guess, is my point. But you know, there's not everyone's on board with playing the objectives right now. So you might be losing some more games due to people not trying to win, I guess. But if you get into matches where people are trying to win, then you're going to be rewarded for that. So capture the base. To cap is now going to be 120 seconds instead of 180. You're going to start off with 200 points instead of 300, and then it's increasing 4 points instead of 2 per every 6 seconds. 3 cap domination, 40 seconds to cap. You're going to be earning 5 points per every 5 seconds instead of 3 points. Starting point value for the teams is 200 from 300. 4 cap domination, again 40-second cap, again 5 points every 5 seconds. And then the starting value is 250 from 300. So, and then the win requirement is interestingly much lower. It's 750 instead of 1,000. So I haven't thought about that, why that's different, but that's interesting. I'll have to think about that. And then they're lowering the points for kills. So they're all tinkered. They're all down. Well, right now you get, or right now and in the future, you get points for kills, and then the enemy team loses points for losing ships. Now they're both of those increases or decreases are going down by roughly 5 or 10 per ship killed. So again, more of an emphasis on playing the objectives. So those of you that don't know what an objective is, that's that circle, like, look it up. Alright, so spawn points. A lot of people have been griping about the spawn points. That's been heard loud and clear. The spawn points for everyone are moving back 10% on the following maps: Archipelago, Ring, Strait, and Big Race. And then the spawn points for battleships only are moving 10% back on Trident, Neighbor, Estuary, and Haven. So that'll be good. We'll see how that works. I'm sure they'll be keeping an eye on that, but I like that. I wish they would kind of spawn everyone kind of in a neutral position like they do on PC, but whatever. We'll see how that plays out, but they are tinkering with the spawn points because a lot of people have requested that. So this is the community's feedback on that one, so that's appreciated. Collision prevention system is completely fixed right now, supposedly, hopefully. So what that means is if you turn off collision prevention system, which I strongly recommend doing, I turned it off even before I knew how pernicious the collision prevention system is, and then it's been continuing to work ever since. Collision prevention, if you don't know what it is, you hear this really demonic ping, and then all of a sudden your ship will start wildly veering into the island that it's designed to actually avoid, or it'll tinker with your speed. It's just a lot of weird stuff happens. It's like some really bad player is now steering your ship for you. I don't know why that's in the game, period. But if for some reason that appeals to you, you can still keep it on, but everyone else with any common sense should just turn it off, because there's no point in having it on there. And then another interesting change was active AA guns no longer contribute to detectability, period. So a lot of people have been asking for a way to turn off AA because it contributes to your detectability. And on PC you can turn it on and off because of that. So if you want to be stealthier, you can just turn it off. They're saying right now, if I'm reading this correctly, which I am, so let me rephrase that, if they typed it correctly, then the AA guns just flat out don't contribute to the detectability of your ship. So cool. That's a nice change. And then there's some other minor bug fixes. I'm not going to go over them. I'll put the link to the notes here in the description if you want to check out the bug fixes. But that's pretty much everything we got in here. I'm going to reserve my judgment on all this until I actually see it in action. But I do want to hear from you guys what you feel, and I'm pretty excited about the update overall. I'm fine with one new line coming out every 6 weeks or so. It's in their interest to keep the game going, and you don't want to release the whole game on day one and then have it get old, So that'll get 6 weeks. That'll give you a nice amount of time to grind the line out. And I saved up a bunch of credits, but now I'm only going to need half of them. So after I'm done recording this, I'm going to go out and buy the Amagi and give that little boy a test run, because I've been looking forward to that ship, but I've been squirreling away my credits for potentially having 2 tier 7s to unlock. So I won't have to worry about that for a little while. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. This update's going live Monday morning. Just a heads up, I'm gonna see if I can figure out how to set up a stream again, and if I can over the weekend, then I'll probably be streaming Monday. I do have the day off, and it'll be a mix of me playing and potentially playing with viewers. So if you're interested in tuning in on that, I got a link to the Twitch in my description below. Also in there is a link to my Discord. Best way to potentially play with me would be to join there. Once in a while, post messages in there, seeing who's around. I get about 10 requests a day to play with people, guys. I just don't have time to do it. I'm sorry, but I hope you understand. And that's pretty much going to do it. So if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, I got a lot of World of Warships coming out all the time. Again, comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. And we'll see y'all later. All right, peace.